Welcome back. Crossing the street can be dangerous, especially here in Florida. But now researchers and law enforcement are working together to keep pedestrians out of harm's way.
ABC 7's Kate Flexter walks us through the high-tech steps being taken so you can drive and walk safer.
Each year, 20 million Floridians and more than 100 million tourists hit Florida's roads, sidewalks, or bike lanes, according to the U.S. Census and Visit Florida. And each year for the past 4 years, Smart Growth America ranked Florida among the top 3 most dangerous states for pedestrians.
Everybody's distracted.
Moving and turning and doing whatever they want to do, regardless of what the crosswalk sign says.
A recent study from Smart Growth America ranks the Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton area as the 10th most dangerous metro area, not just in the state, but in the nation. Executive Director of Florida Walks and Bikes, Mike Lachey, says many of the accidents are concentrated in certain areas. So you were saying this area is not great for pedestrians?
This area has actually been noted by the city of Sarasota as having a lot of pedestrian crashes. It's Washington Boulevard, 301. And one big reason for it is lack of crosswalks.
On that particular stretch of US 301 between Fruitville and 10th Street, the distance from one crosswalk to another is almost half a mile. And in the short time we were there, we watched as pedestrians crossed the street without using the crosswalk. Lachey says it's an issue that's deep-rooted, dating back to the invention of the automobile. Unlike much of the Northeast, Florida was largely developed after the introduction of the vehicle. And Lachey says developers prioritized cars over pedestrians.
Where you're going to shop is several miles away from where you live, and that's several miles away from where you work.
While it can be hard to work backwards, researchers are trying to do just that, using technology to make the simple act of crossing the road a little easier.
Most of the time, the frequency of crashes shows us that you have hotspots, you have areas where you need to investigate and find out the reasons why.
At the University of South Florida's Center for Urban Transportation Research, Dr. Achilles Cortelles and his colleagues identify those hot spots using inventions like this bike with GPS and cameras to track and record interactions with vehicles. Or this vehicle, which uses light sensors to create a thermal map showing where light is concentrated on roadways. Cortelles says many accidents are the result of poorly lit roads. Interestingly, too much light on the road isn't good either.
If people can see better, they might go faster, so therefore crashes might happen again or increase.
But there's one thing all the technology in the world can't change, says Cortelles: behavior.
Everybody needs to know the rules and follow them, because otherwise it just doesn't work.
That's where law enforcement comes in. In December, the Sarasota Police Department received a $25,000 grant from USF to educate people about the laws and add extra officers to the streets with the focus of enforcing pedestrian violations.
The overall goal is simply to bring traffic accidents and fatalities down.
Sergeant Bruce King says accidents involving pedestrians are far too common locally and often life-altering.
The parents or the family of that person that was hit will never be the same, but the person driving the car will never be the same either.
It's all preventable, says King, and it starts with education.
And all we're trying to do is bring attention to it, and maybe people will be more attentive to their driving. Maybe some of the pedestrians will be more attentive to where they're crossing and using the crosswalks and using the lights appropriately.
Kate Flexter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.